dear Bagginses and Boffins.
The Gollum trailer, the second trailer, I should say, just dropped. And I wanted to quickly talk about it with you because I've seen mixed reviews and mixed responses to this game coming out. And I just wanted to kind of get your take on this idea of making a video game dedicated to the character Gollum.
I think it'd be kind of good. I like kind of in games I kind of like sneaking around and I think there's some opportunities for a fishing mini game in there too that could be fun.
Oh yeah, so with that, I think we'll watch the trailer and we can kind of talk about it because that is what it seems to be, a sneaky type of video game, and it's just got this new subtitle, The Untold Stories. So before it was just called Gollum, and now it's The Lord of the Rings Gollum, The Untold Stories. And so the idea, I guess, is that time that is kind of uncertain to most of the characters in Lord of the Rings about Gollum kind of escaping from his captors and making his way on his quest to eventually grab the ring. Mm-hmm. So yeah, here we'll quickly watch it and we'll talk about what we see in this trailer and what we can expect. So there's some cool callbacks to the film, to the films, I should say. You've got the him choking out the orc, similar to how he first obtained the ring. You've got the helmet dropping and him just missing it. Very reminiscent of Pippin and his time in Moria.
Yep, I agree.
And then you've got obviously the lava is integral in the creation and destruction of the ring eventually. So some nice little callbacks, and it does seem that they are playing up that dichotomy within Gollum of the two different characters, the Smeagol and the Gollum.
Oh yeah.
Which will be interesting. I don't know how much that will actually play out in the gameplay, but I do think that there's an appetite for not just a battle type game.
Yeah, it's gonna be more sneaking. If Gollum went head first into a fight with an orc, he wouldn't win.
No, exactly. I'm surprised to even.
It's gonna be more assassin style.
Yeah, like I'm surprised he even took that fight to begin with, to be honest. Like he was already kind of in the shadows, and then he I guess like Gollum kind of took over and was like, "We need to get out of here," and just jumped in there and smashed the orc with a rock.
So you could do kind of like a chaotic versus an honorable or dishonorable approach, and then maybe like if you start killing more people, you become more Gollum, and if you do more sneaking, you become more Smeagol, and then I don't know, maybe you can have kind of an alternate storyline depending on how you go about it. I don't know.
So I think the way like you said, you can have it within each mission, have different types of outcomes depending on how you've gone about the mission, and then also potentially different choices in cutscenes and whatnot. It actually reminds me a game, not a very well received game, mind you, but Splinter Cell Double Agent, which was I believe it was the fourth Splinter Cell. So the first three were really good, and then the fourth one, no one really, no one really picked it up. But in it, it's called Double. The subtitle is Splinter Cell Double Agent, and the idea is you've been like undercover so long that your own group, like the CIA, doesn't know if you're compromised. And so the whole game you get to pick and choose whether or not you've been compromised. And that's what this kind of reminds me of, where it's supposed to be sneaky, but you can go out there and do other stuff if that's the play style you want. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. My big question though is how much of the game is going to be spent around Mount Doom and escaping, like definitely not through the Black Gates, but some other way. How much of the game is going to be in that? Because afterwards, I'm not really sure what Gollum gets up to.
Could you have the part where he starts stalking the Fellowship?
Well, that's what I was thinking, but there's a huge jump in time between him getting out and meeting up with the group near Rivendell. I don't know what else happens so it'll be interesting to see where they take it, because I can only really see the game really happening with like around orcs and stuff. But once you get out of that, you're gonna be in potentially human or elf locations, and those aren't the villains for most people, so it's gonna be kind of a different game where you're trying to sneak past elves and humans. So yeah, it's an interesting idea, and I think something different, regardless of whether or not people really want to play as Gollum or not, I think something different in a Lord of the Rings game is warranted, and I'm gonna be hopeful. I'm excited to see this when it comes out, and I'm gonna play it, but I can also understand that people are kind of hesitant.
I mean, I've played through the Dishonored games, and I've done it so that I've never been seen and I never killed anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole game. So I think I kind of like doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. You can set yourself like mini in-game challenges and that kind of stuff. So you've got a whole bunch of different options, and I think that's one reason why people do actually like these kind of games that give you different playstyle options. If it's just a hack and slash or something, going in what you're doing, there's nothing else to do, and if that doesn't keep your attention for the entire time you're playing, you're going to get bored fast. And
just Dishonored had cool superpowers, and you could do things that
exactly.
Like you could tell Gollum doesn't have superpowers. It might not be as good.
He doesn't have superpowers, but he does have he does move in ways that are people would say it's almost non-human. Like the way he's able to crawl upside down a rocky cliff towards hobbits. He's got some abilities that might
first. Not the normal. Okay, I'm gonna cautiously step down.
No, he's literally like crawling down head first, no regard.
Like an insect. Yeah.
Yeah. He moves in ways that don't seem normal or human, and I think there's some cool play style there. I can almost foresee it similar to like an Assassin's Creed style, where all buildings and all obstacles are climbable, and so you really have your pick of the litter when you want to move through an area of how you go about it. And I think it'll be interesting to see. I honestly don't know how big this game's going to be either. It might just be a short little game because they don't know how much people are really going to be receptive to a Gollum video game. So
I regret to announce this is the end. I bid you all a very fond farewell.